I remember the exact moment everything shifted. We were at the wedding when the bride's father suddenly turned to me and praised my work like it actually mattered loud enough for my entire family to hear. The same family who had spent years quietly dismissing it. I could feel their silence, heavy and uncomfortable, like something had gone wrong. In that moment, I realized this wasn't just recognition, but what he said next changed how I saw my family forever. I wasn't supposed to stand out that day. I was another guest invited through a distant connection, observing as everyone celebrated. My work had been creative, unconventional. I built it from nothing, but in my family it was treated like a phase. They smiled politely, asked vague questions, then moved on. At the time I thought they didn't understand, but I was wrong. The story begins years before the wedding. I grew up watching my siblings celebrated for choices that made sense to everyone else, stable jobs, predictable paths, things my parents could explain with pride. When it came to me, the tone shifted. Support sounded polite but never real. Small comments lingered, questions that felt like doubt. Over time, I started questioning myself too, wondering if they were right about me. But looking back, there were signs I chose to ignore. And then came the moment that revealed everything. I used to believe my family simply didn't understand me, that my choices were too different to fit into their expectations. But standing there at that wedding, watching their reactions, something finally clicked. They hadn't misunderstood me at all. They needed me to be the one who didn't succeed, the one they could quietly compare themselves against. Their silence wasn't harmless, it shaped how I saw myself. Every lowered expectation kept me in place. What I thought was indifference was actually strategy. And that realization changed everything for me completely. I could feel the shift instantly. People who had overlooked me were paying attention, questions, listening differently. But my family couldn't match that energy. Some forced smiles, others avoided eye contact. In that contrast, I saw the truth for the first time. I wasn't who they said I was. But the hardest part wasn't what they said, it was what they didn't. So what happens after a moment like that? I went back and forth wondering if I should confront them or simply step away. Part of me wanted answers, an apology, something that acknowledged the truth. But another part understood something quieter. I didn't need their validation anymore. For the first time, I realized I had a choice. And that leads to what this story is really about all. Looking back, the wedding didn't change me. It revealed I had been close to see. I stopped chasing approval that was never real and started trusting what I built. The clarity hurt, but it freed me. Sometimes it takes a stranger to show you the truth about your own family.